I think I just, start off by, acknowledging what we faced tonight. When you talk about the program that Michigan is, with there's the Sweet 16 runs and the championships that they've had, you recognize it's not just a one-time thing. They're a very talented team, extremely well coached, and we knew we had more than an uphill battle coming in tonight. But I credit our guys, for hanging in there and to be, just a couple shots, couple plays away from having that game go down to the wire. So I think it's a good test for us early in the season, and one that hopefully will pay off for us as we get into the heart of our schedule.
Coach, I know you said you wanted to see a lot of how this team would react on the road in an environment like this. You guys start off the game up 11-3. Were you happy with the way they started this game and came out and played?
I was surprised. We've got so many guys. I think of our 9 players, we've got 6, 7 of them that are in the rotation for the first time, and those guys that are returning are in different roles from what our team was a year ago. So, coming into tonight, you worried that they would have nerves, and we talked about, don't worry about the shots falling, don't worry about the execution as much as let's make sure we go in there and after the game we talk about how hard we could play. And I think as I look back at that, I don't think we could play much harder for this early in the season, and if we can continue to do that, this team will do nothing but improve.
What can you say about Andre's play tonight?
Well, we're extremely high on him as a player, so I think what you saw tonight is a glimpse of what he can be as a player. And as he continues, he's brand new at this with his teammates and running his team. So I think the credit to him is that as extraordinary as his play was, if you asked him, he'd talk about the deficiencies that he had, because he's a perfectionist. He's somebody that wants to be great, wants his team to be great. And I think having him at the point guard position definitely makes his teammates around him better, and I think that's probably the best compliment you can give to a point guard.
Keno, you look at Sean Roundtree, just maybe talk about his performance, and then I'll have another question after.
Well, I think when you're going against the caliber team of Michigan, you don't get as many opportunities, and so for him to be able to take the physical play, and even if he made a mistake, he'd turn around and make the play the next time. And so we had confidence to continue to go back to him. So I think for him to make a lot of those big shots, he kept us in games. And I think you're going to see the ball in his hands a lot more as the season go on. And it doesn't mean that you're going to see a lot more points of him. You might see a lot more assists. You might see a lot more playmaking. But he's definitely a very talented player out there.
What does a performance like this help you get ready for the MAC conference games later in the year?
Well, I mean, we're not going to play in front of a bigger crowd. You're not going to play against a better opponent. That's going to be the biggest crowd and the best opponent that most likely that we'll face. We think that much of their team. So I think the idea is we take this as understanding about how hard we played and have to try to continue that. And if we play that hard, we'll win our share of games and have our chances as we go through. So our guys are understanding that they're disappointed in the locker room. They're not excited that they played close. They have a great drive for this team and for them individually to succeed.
Coach, where's the team at? I mean, compared to last year's team or even years past for you, where are they at right now?
It's so tough to tell this early in the season, on a one-game shot. But what I hope we are is that we're better defensively than we were at any point last year, because of the personnel, because of the intensity with which we play. We're potentially a good rebounding to a very good rebounding team, and those two things we never were last year. So in some areas I think we're much improved. And in other areas, we'll find out shortly where we are. But regardless of where we are as a team in November, I like our chances to really improve as we get to the new year.
Did you expect to have that much success with your zone defense against them?
I hoped.
Yeah.
I just didn't feel like with their talent that we could match up man-to-man in that game, and yet we practiced to do it if the zone struggled. But our team really grasped the understanding of our matchup, and it kind of more of a true, kind of with our zone, it's where we have a lot more man tendencies than in a 2-3. So I felt like it gave us the best opportunity to force them to the perimeter and not just get beat by their size and strength inside.
It seemed like you guys weren't satisfied with just staying close. I mean, did the guys really feel like this was it could be a game that could be an upset?
Yeah, I mean, but I don't think that's saying anything against Michigan. It's just our guys have a lot of confidence in their abilities, and I mean, they could be playing the number one team in the country and feel like that we had a chance. Now, I'm not saying that we would feel like we're the better team, but I think we understand with the way we play and the way we can shoot the ball, that on a night where our three-point shots are going in, we could upset some teams that might be on paper better than us going in.
Are you glad or relieved in a sense that Jerron Simmons is no longer in the MAC?
Yeah, he's a pretty talented player. We've had some great games. We had some great games with Ohio. So, you know, I think you know, I think you get frustrated a little bit when players they leave your conference and transfer, but you understand that's kind of the climate that we live in, and he's an exceptional talent, and so you know, I knew when I heard that he was transferring, and then he was going to somebody on our schedule, I kind of had mixed feelings. I didn't want to see him again, but we saw him anyway. So you know, hope he has a great season, and their team as well.